You queued up 50 clips in Kling 2.6, then Kling 3.0 dropped, and suddenly you're not sure you picked the right one for the job. Kling 2.6 is the budget workhorse. Kling 3.0 is the new flagship. The real question is whether the upgrade is worth your credits. Test 1. Output quality. The day your clip looks muddy or motion goes soft, a client notices before you do, and that's the clip they remember. The artificial analysis image-to-video leaderboard scores both models on the same prompts, the same methodology, one ELO scale. Here's what the numbers say. I pulled the I2V Arena scores, and Kling 2.6 Pro lands at 1 style. ELO, while Kling 3.0 Pro sits at 1075 on the exact same leaderboard, which is a 73-point gap you can see on screen right now. On text-to-video, Kling 3.0 Pro hits 1240 ELO, and I couldn't find a comparable figure for 2.6, so that directional call leans on community consensus, and 3.0's master mode adds real prompt adherence on top of that. Kling 3.0 takes output quality, and if you can't afford a soft-looking clip, the call is pretty clear. 73 ELO points on the same scale is a real, meaningful gap. That puts Kling 3.0 up 1-0, and the score is on screen. I live inside these tools every day, so I notice a 73-point ELO gap before most people even open the docs. Has a quality gap like this caught you off guard mid-project? Drop it in the comments. Test 2. Generation speed. 30 seconds per clip sounds fine until you're queuing 100 of them, and the render queue is eating your afternoon. A standard 5-second 1080p clip is the measuring stick here, and there's also a turbo mode in play that could change the math entirely for anyone running the API at scale. On a standard 5-second 1080p clip, Kling 2.6 comes back in roughly 3 minutes, Kling 3.0 in about 2, so 3.0 is around a third faster out of the box, on the same prompt and setup. And then there's 3.0's turbo mode, which Kling claims cuts that down by another 50%, while 2.6 has no equivalent speed dial at all. Kling 3.0 wins speed too, and I didn't expect the turbo mode gap to feel this wide, because 2.6 just has no answer for it. That's 2 for Kling 3.0, 0 for Kling 2.6. Test 3. Pricing and credits. At 20 cents per 5-second API clip, a batch of 1,000 clips runs you $200. Run the same batch on the newer model, and that number jumps fast. One of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. Consumer credits follow the same pattern, and the per-second rate is where the real spread opens up for anyone building a pipeline. I pulled the official API pricing, and here's what I found. Kling 2.6 is $0.20 per 5-second clip. Kling 3.0 is 0.30, so 2.6 is meaningfully cheaper per clip. Per second, it's even wider, 0.062 for 2.6 versus 0.112 for 3.0's turbo, nearly half the rate. Consumer credits track the same way, 80 credits versus 100 for the same 5-second 1080p output. Kling 2.6 takes pricing, and the risk of ignoring that gap is real. At scale, nearly half the per-second cost is the kind of difference that decides whether a project is profitable. That's Kling 3.02, Kling 2.61. Okay, so Kling 2.6 finally got on the board with pricing, but style control and platform reach are still ahead, and one of those tests could completely change how you think about character consistency across a multi-shot project. If you've ever rebuilt a scene from scratch because your character drifted, you really want to see what's coming next. Test 4. Style control and consistency. You're 3 shots into a 6-cut sequence and your character's face just changed. That's not a creative choice, that's a broken pipeline. And fixing it means scrapping the clip and starting over. The question is, which model actually keeps identity locked across shots without you babysitting every frame? I looked at what each model actually ships with. Kling 3.0 has a style reference input, a story mode that handles up to 6 camera cuts, and an element system that locks character identity across shots, all of which 2.6 simply doesn't have. Community reports confirm 2.6 shows occasional character drift in longer sequences, and 3.0's element system is the direct fix for exactly that failure mode. Kling 3.0 wins style control, and I had expected 2.6 to hold up better here. But the element system and story mode aren't incremental. They're a different class of creative tool. That's Kling 3.03, Kling 2.61. Test 5. Platform availability and API limits. You've picked your model, you're ready to ship, and then you find out the API caps out before your clip length or the mobile app doesn't carry the version you need. Both models cap at 1080p and 10 seconds per clip via API, and both are on web, mobile, and Versal AI gateway. I checked every platform both models are actually available on, and the list is identical. Web app, iOS, Android, API, and Versal AI gateway, all confirmed for both. API limits are the same too, 1080p max resolution and 10 seconds per clip, so there's no availability advantage either way, which is pretty interesting given how different the models are under the hood. Now, one thing worth flagging. Kling 3.0 does support native 4K output on the consumer side, but the API still caps both models at 1080p. So if you're building a pipeline and assuming the API will deliver 4K, that headline doesn't change your integration at all. For API builders, the platforms are genuinely equal, and that's the honest call. Platform availability is a tie, and I'll be straight with you. I expected 3.0's 4K feature to create a real gap here, but the API limits make it a non-factor for builders. Final score, Kling 3.0, 3, Kling 2.6, 1 tied. So here's where Kling 2.6 is the clear winner. On cost, it's $0.20 versus $0.30 per 5-second API clip, and $0.62 versus $0.1 per second, nearly half the rate. Consumer credits go further too, 80 versus 100 per clip. If you're running high volume, simple jobs and budget is the constraint. Kling 2.6 is the smarter financial call, full stop. And here's where Kling 3.0 is clearly better. Quality is measurably higher, 1075 versus 1002 LO on i2v, and a 1240 T2v score with no comparable 2.6 number. It's about a third faster on a standard clip, plus turbo mode. And character consistency across multi-shot sequences is actually fixed with the element system, which is a real creative unlock for anyone doing story-driven work. If you're grinding through high-volume simple clips on a tight budget, Kling 2.6 is your pick at nearly half the per-second cost. But if quality and speed matter more than the bill, Kling 3.0 is the default, and that 73-point ELO gap is the number that closes the argument. One thing that doesn't show up in the docs, Kling 3.0's native 4K output is a consumer-side feature only, and the API hard caps both models at 1080p, regardless of plan. So if you're building a 4K pipeline and assuming the API will deliver it, you'll hit that wall on your first production run. Now, if you're wondering how Kling 3.0 actually stacks up against Runway's latest, I already ran that comparison, and the cost gap is pretty wild. Go check out Runway Gen 4.5 versus Kling 3.0, which is better, and see if the numbers hold up the same way they did here.